Tonight, NBC5 Investigates has an update to a story we brought you earlier this week at 10 o'clock. The Chicago Police Department says more than 500 of its officers still carry a controversial handgun tied to misfire complaints and dozens of lawsuits across the country. Here's investigative reporter Bennett Haeberle.
The response from a CPD firearms supervisor came after a federal judge demanded to know how many officers are still carrying a Sig Sauer P320. The question was posed by the judge who's overseeing Chicago Police's consent decree, which requires that the city give officers safe equipment. Now the gun maker is defending its product and asking for their own hearing before the judge. In a sworn statement filed this week, Chicago Police's firearms supervisor wrote that 521 officers still carry the Sig Sauer P320. That's down from more than 1,500 this summer after CPD decided to move away from the handgun. The transition effort, the supervisor wrote, has been slowed down due to delays in getting new guns and holsters delivered. Videos like these have become the bedrock of dozens of lawsuits across the country, where officers and civilians alike have alleged that their P320s misfired without a trigger pull, in some cases causing severe injuries.
It was catastrophic for me, my career, and more importantly, my family.
Former Virginia police officer Marcy Vadnais says it happened to her in 2018, an allegation she made in a lawsuit she later settled. X-rays show her femur shattered after she says her gun misfired while it was still holstered.
This weapon is dangerous. Nobody should ever have their hands on this weapon.
Over the past decade, dozens of gun owners like Marcy have sued Sig Sauer with a mix of court victories, settlements, dismissals, and some judgments that favor the gun maker.
We've had victories and we've had some losses, but we have no question that this gun is defective in its design and how it's manufactured.
The Chicago Police Union filed its own concerns earlier this year in the ongoing civil litigation case tied to the consent decree, which they argue requires CPD to provide officers with equipment that is both safe and effective. And while CPD has decided to move on from the weapon, Sig Sauer now wants to intervene, writing their own response to the court this week that the company vehemently denies that the P320 is defective or that it poses an unreasonable risk to the CPD officers who carry it or to the public. Their attorneys also point to this, a previous sworn statement from Chicago Police about their own in-house testing of the gun, which could not replicate the problem. Chicago Police are not required to carry a Sig Sauer, according to the union, and range documents reviewed by NBC5 Investigates that show officers use a variety of handguns from different manufacturers. That said, many of the officers waiting on those replacement guns ordered a different version of a Sig Sauer. CPD says it's hoping those new weapons will arrive in the coming weeks. Bennett Haeberle, NBC5 Investigates.